The man merely tripped and fell, yet before his eyes appeared a game interface where all options were functional except the exit game button, which remained unclickable. This made Shiro realize he was trapped in the game world. It turned out the newly released DLC for Elder Tale had caused countless players to become stuck in the game. Knowing staying idle wouldn't help, Shiro contacted his old friend through the friend list. Their reunion after years happened under such unexpected circumstances. Naotsugu hadn't played the game for 2 years but logged back in after hearing about the update, only to find himself trapped as well. Everything around them matched the game perfectly. Even the tactile sensations felt incredibly real, confirming this wasn't a dream. The two decided to gather information about this world together. Though their inventory and skills remained usable, Shiro insisted they avoid leaving town temporarily due to the unknown penalties for death. During their conversation, a rock fell from above, revealing Akatsuki, an assassin they had once partied with. To fit the cold, aloof image of an assassin, Akatsuki had chosen a tall male avatar, but the update made movement extremely cumbersome. She resolved to buy a character appearance change item from Shiro. After calm returned, a cute girl appeared before them. Grateful for Shiro saving her from distress, Akatsuki pledged loyalty as his master and swore to protect him at all costs. With a max-level assassin joining their party, their survival odds improved significantly. The next day, the three arrived in town and noticed the number of NPCs had increased. They were called the People of the Land, while the trapped players were referred to as adventurers. Seeing the variety of fruits and food, they suddenly remembered they hadn't eaten anything since arriving in the game world. Akatsuki had already bought her favorite dessert. Though the food looked delicious, it all tasted like plastic. Just then, a player contacted Shiro. Marie, the guildmaster of Crescent Moon Alliance, invited him to exchange game information. Upon entering the guild hall, everyone was impressed by Marie's unique perspective. Marie immediately rushed into Shiro's arms, her fiery personality fitting her role as a healer. After a brief conversation, Shiro learned about the current state of the game. The teleportation gates between cities had failed, causing many players to join large guilds. Due to the game update, monsters and quests were now completely different. Marie hoped Shiro would join her team, as the outside world was unstable, and having more allies meant greater security. However, Shiro, having been betrayed in a guild before, declined her offer. After everyone left, Shiro observed the bewildered players on the streets and decided to check the situation outside the beginner village at night. But as soon as they stepped out, they encountered a group of level 20 squirrels. Despite being level 90 players, they had just arrived in this game world and didn't know how to use their skills. Thus, the absurd scene of low-level monsters chasing max-level players unfolded. During the struggle, Akatsuki accidentally unleashed a powerful skill. Though she didn't know how it happened, Shiro seemed to suddenly understand. By locking onto a target and combining physical movement with incantations, skills could be activated. Due to a game update, hundreds of thousands of players were transported into the game world called Elder Tale. Unlike games where death in the game also means death in reality, in this world, each death results in respawning at a revival point, but at the cost of losing a portion of real-world memories. If a player dies a certain number of times, they will completely transform into a native inhabitant of the game. After several days of testing, Shiro and the others mastered the combat methods in this world. On their way back, Shiro noticed someone following them. At this point, Akatsuki suggested that she act as a scout ahead while also practicing her proficiency as a tracker. The tracker is one type of subclass in the world of Elder Tale. In addition to having a main class, players can also train in other subclasses. Each subclass has corresponding skills, such as the stealth movement Akatsuki was using at that moment. After the group separated, Shiro wore a worried expression due to the security issues Marie had mentioned. Although combat between adventurers is prohibited within cities, some players still engage in player killing in the wild to steal others' items and belongings. Since maps cannot be used outside the city now, the success rate of ambushes has greatly increased, and player killing in the wild has become increasingly common. Just as they arrived at the Healing Institute, Naotsugu suddenly fell into a magic trap. Although Shiro immediately freed him from the restraint, players who made a living through player killing in the wild also targeted them. Both sides instantly entered combat. Shiro first used a skill to lock onto their vision, and after confirming the enemy's positions, Naotsugu engaged in battle at the front. The enemies recognized Shiro as the core of the team and sent an assassin to ambush him. However, this was exactly what Shiro had anticipated. He used a mental bind to immobilize the assassin, while Naotsugu, following orders, activated a skill to briefly draw the aggro of surrounding enemies onto himself. As Naotsugu's HP continued to drop, the opponents believed they had secured victory. Unexpectedly, Shiro first cast a skill to immobilize them, then hypnotize their healer. Meanwhile, the hidden enemy was eliminated by Akatsuki. After a desperate and ugly struggle, Akatsuki decisively finished him off. Shiro realized that a world without rules only became more chaotic. At that moment, Marie called for backup, explaining that members of their guild were being bullied by local players in the northern city. Since the teleportation function was now disabled, she decided to lead a team to rescue them, and asked Shiro to handle guild affairs in the meantime. Shiro hesitated again, as he truly wanted no further ties with the guild, and Marie's strength wasn't enough to escape unscathed. After discussion, Shiro decided to head to the northern city for the rescue mission. This is a player organization revered as legendary in the gaming world. Although the actual number of members is only 20, they conquered the most challenging monster dungeons through their exceptional operational skills. Shiro was once the supreme commander of this team. After agreeing to Marie's request for rescue, Shiro blew the beast summoning flute, and 2 griffins appeared before Akatsuki. She recognized these as rare items obtainable only by clearing high-difficulty dungeons. At Shiro's invitation, Akatsuki rode a flying mount for the first time. Soon after, the 3 embarked on a journey to the northern city. However, the distance was too vast, and with griffin mounts capable of flying only 4 hours per day, Shiro decided to take an underground tunnel to cross the strait. The scenery here was completely different from what they had seen on screens. The sensation of stepping onto ancient mine tracks made the 3 shudder with unease. Just then, countless monsters blocked their path. To avoid wasting time, Shiro and the others were forced to take an old, abandoned road. The group rested in a safe zone, eating tasteless food. Ever since being transported into the game world, any system provided pre-made meals tasted like wax to them. Only seasonings and fruits retained their original flavors. Suddenly, Marie contacted Shiro, revealing that she had already made contact with the rescue target. Under the protection of kind strangers, Sarara was currently safe. It turned out she had been hiding in someone else's house all this time. Unable to go outside, she passed the days by doing household chores, which also leveled up her subclass. The town they were in had a bully guild that not only targeted adventurers but also enslaved NPCs, and Sarara had caught the attention of its leader. Meanwhile, after resting, the Shiro team resumed their journey through the tunnel. As they reached the middle of a bridge, it suddenly collapsed, and Shiro fell from the bridge into the riverbed. Just as he was about to lose consciousness, memories of past in-game events began to surface. Due to his exceptional analytical and command abilities, Shiro gradually came to be known as the Supreme Commander. However, no one treated him as a friend, only as a tool for clearing dungeons. This prolonged exploitation caused Shiro to completely lose sight of his original purpose for playing the game. It wasn't until he encountered Debauchery Tea Party that he slowly rediscovered the true meaning of gaming. Just as he was lost in these memories, Akatsuki's voice snapped him back to reality. It turned out that when he fell into the water, Akatsuki had promptly dived in to rescue him. After confirming his health, the group continued their journey. Unexpectedly, a giant monster blocked the exit. Shiro immediately issued a combat order. Naotsugu used a skill to draw the monster's aggro, while Akatsuki seized the opportunity to deal damage. With Shiro's crucial control skills added to the mix, the trio gradually whittled down the monster's HP. Seizing the perfect moment, Shiro cast Mental Shock on the monster, a skill that reduces enemy attributes while boosting allies' attacks. With this massive buff enhancement, Akatsuki cleaved the monster in half with a single strike. Upon exiting the tunnel, they were greeted by a breathtaking sight they had never seen before. Meanwhile, at the very location Shiro was heading to for the rescue, a man named Demiquaz had taken control of the area through force. Relying on their guild's numerical advantage, they ruthlessly exploited local players. If anyone resisted, they would repeatedly kill that player. The target of this rescue mission, Sarara, was fortunate to have received help, allowing her to temporarily escape Demiquaz's pursuit. But could Shiro successfully rescue her? After several days of travel, the group finally reached the outskirts of the northern city, which was now entirely under Demiquaz's rule. To avoid ambushes in the wild, Shiro decided to enter the city first and had Akatsuki conduct preliminary reconnaissance. Soon after, the group entered the city directly. However, the expected siege did not occur. Instead, an eerie atmosphere permeated the streets. To retrieve Sarara as quickly as possible, Shiro had no choice but to set aside these doubts. After successfully reuniting, Shiro was surprised to discover that the rescuer was his former teammate Nyanta. After a few minutes of small talk, Nyanta learned of Shiro's purpose for coming and immediately agreed to return to Akihabara with him.